All right, let's dive right in. Welcome, future pilots, to this rapid fire explainer. If you're prepping for your private pilot license ground exam, you are in exactly the right spot. Today, our one and only mission is mastering rules 46 and 48. These are the absolute, non-negotiable essentials of aircraft lighting, and knowing them cold is literally your ticket to passing this section of your exam.
Look, we're skipping the long intros, the deep history of aviation, and all the unnecessary fluff. We're jumping straight into the high-yield, totally testable facts you need to absolutely crush your ground exam. So grab a pen, get your notebook ready, because we're getting to work right now.
Section 1. Rule 46. Navigation lights. Okay, so these navigation lights, they are the bedrock rules for night flying. Every single pilot has to know these by heart, not just to check a box on a multiple-choice test, but to maintain your spatial awareness and, actually stay safe up in the dark sky. Visualizing an aircraft's footprint in the dark is actually simpler than it sounds. On the left side, that's the port wing, you have a red light, and it covers a 110-degree arc from dead ahead. A classic, foolproof trick to memorize this is port wine is red. Just keep that in your back pocket. Now, on the right side, the starboard wing is your green light, which also sweeps a 110-degree arc from dead ahead. Finally, to the rear, dead astern, you've got a white light covering 70 degrees on either side. That creates a total 140-degree arc. If you do the math, 110 plus 110 plus 140 gives you a full 360 degrees of visibility. Listen to me. Lock those specific degree numbers, 110 and 70, into your memory right now. Examiners absolutely love testing those exact numbers to make sure you know your arcs.
Section 2. Collision avoidance at night.
So, what does this actually mean when you're up in the air? Here's what safe versus high risk looks like from the cockpit. If you're flying at night, you look out your left window and you see the red navigation light of an approaching plane. Take a breath. You're completely safe. Your flight paths are not going to cross. Red to red is safe. The exact same logic applies if you look out to your right wing and see green. Green to green is safe. But, and this is a massive but for both your exam and your actual flying career, if you see a red light out to your right or a green light out to your left, you are at a very high risk of collision. Those paths are actively converging. The golden rule you must remember here is crossing colors means crossing paths. Act accordingly. Section 3. Special aircraft lighting rules. You know, the sky isn't just full of standard fixed-wing planes, and examiners will absolutely test you on the exceptions. First up on the special list, gliders. At night, a glider actually has an option, which makes it unique. They can either carry the standard 3-color nav lights we literally just talked about, or they can opt for just one red light showing in all directions. Now, I want to stress one incredibly vital word for your exam right here, and that word is steady. It is a steady red light, not a flashing one. If you see flashing red for a glider on a multiple-choice question, cross it out immediately. It's a trap. Next up, let's talk about airships. Picture a massive, slow-moving blimp just kind of navigating through the night sky. Because of their sheer size and how slow they are, they need a little extra visibility. So, in addition to the basic nav lights, an airship has to display a white light shown from dead ahead to 110 degrees on either side. Basically, they have the standard red, green, and rear white package, plus this extra forward-facing, wide-angle white light. Make sure you jot down that specific addition. And then we have free balloons. The rule here is beautifully simple, honestly, and it's very similar to the glider exception we just went over. A free balloon operating at night just has to show a steady red light, visible in all directions. That's it. Just one steady red light visible from absolutely anywhere around the balloon. And again, don't forget that keyword steady. Section 4. Anti-collision lights. While navigation lights tell you which way an aircraft is pointing, anti-collision lights serve a completely different purpose. These are your active, flashing red or white strobes or beacons. Their whole job is making sure the aircraft is seen from miles away, whether it's high noon or pitch black outside. Now, pay attention to this very specific exam exception. Rotorcraft, like helicopters, they must use only a red anti-collision light, never white. So when do you actually need these turned on? Well, they have to be displayed day and night whenever you're airborne, plus they have to be on even if you're just sitting stationary on an Air Corps apron, as long as your engines are running. It warns the ground crew to stay clear. However, there is a common sense safety override that you definitely need to know. You, as the pilot in command, can switch them off or reduce their intensity if the flashing is causing harmful dazzle to outside observers or if it's reflecting off the clouds and blinding your own crew. Safety and visibility always comes first, but blinding yourself in a cloud bank obviously helps no one. All right,
we've thoroughly covered the lights you are legally required to have. But as literally any seasoned pilot will tell you, things break. Bulbs burn out, wiring fails. What exactly happens if your lights completely fail when you need them most? Well, this critical contingency question brings us directly into the rules of Rule 48. So, Rule 48 explicitly breaks down into night and day scenarios, and they're handled very differently. Let's tackle night failures first, where the stakes are obviously a whole lot higher. The rules here are incredibly strict. If any required navigation light fails at night while you're still on the ground, do not depart from the airfield. It is a strict no-go item, end of story. Now, if you're already airborne when a failure happens, the rule dictates you must land as soon as it is safe to do so. Just get the plane on the ground safely. The only exception, and trust me, examiners love to test your knowledge of exceptions, is that you may continue your flight only if you are explicitly authorized by air traffic control. If you don't have ATC clearance to proceed with a light out, you are landing. Now contrast those really strict night rules with the day rule. If your anti-collision light fails by day, say your strobe just completely stops flashing while you're cruising around at noon, the situation is far less critical because, well, the sun is doing the heavy lifting for visibility. In this scenario, you can actually continue the flight as long as you ensure the light is repaired at the earliest practicable opportunity once you land. It's a massive distinction the exam will try to trip you up on. Remember, night failure means land ASAP unless ATC steps in. Day failure means you can continue your flight, but get it repaired ASAP. Okay, let's take a quick breather from the intense exam prop. Why was the pilot staring so hard at the red and green lights? He was trying to figure out if it was Christmas or an oncoming Cessna. Hey, I know it's an absolutely terrible dad joke, but seriously, if it helps you remember those crossing colors when you're sitting in the exam room, it's totally worth it. All right, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one thought. When you're finally sitting in the left seat, flying solo in the pitch black, and the lights unexpectedly go out, will you react correctly and confidently? Knowing Rules 46 and 48 cold is how you ensure that answer is a definitive yes. Good luck on your ground exam, future pilots. You have absolutely got this. If this rapid-fire breakdown helps clarify things for you, please drop a like and subscribe for more targeted ground school prep explainers. Catch you in the skies!